So we're going to be checking out more Black Souls from THPDom, the hen-redacted game that asks what it means to be human. The answer to this is suffering. So much suffering. Oh god, let's jump back into it and see how much I can do before I have to literally walk away in absolute shame and terror. The answer is, it's not a question of will it happen, it's when.
We're now moving on to the DLCs, but even without them, this game is big. It's massive.
Only getting the
so
DLC
massive,
now.
in fact, that while writing the script, I have had a month where every day I woke up to a cutscene I have not yet seen in my YouTube recommended. I feel like I'm barely scratching 60% of the game in this video, and that's probably an overstatement. From all the character interactions, secrets, character lore, an entire secret boss fight, a lot of it's stuff I didn't figure out on my own. So this is like a call to arms to tell you that this game is worth playing, and even with the popularity of this game, it is in no way cleanly documented. So if you've got no morals, enjoy an insane amount of trial and error in combat, and have a lot of time, I'd recommend hopping in.
It's always
yourselves.
the time part.
And with that, the theater of horror rises its curtains once again. It's as always
France?
6 short stage plays of stories from the deepest crevices and fears of the mind. Some of them may even be real. And
is that a rabbit behind him?
First time, the final act is written by a newcomer. That's
Oh.
right, not Lord himself, but a stranger putting a twist on a fairy tale you might have heard of. And with that, enjoy the bloody spectacle full of gore and screams.
So, like everything else so far, White Rabbit, Red Idol, Black Queen. Oh, she's faceless. And there's the monster. Is that a creepy heart? And this is just the DLC now. That used to be a rabbit. A chained owl? What is going on? Oh, that's even creepier. The ears are coming out of the eye. Someone was going to Alice. The King of Chess and Lost Time chapter. Act 0, the Hatter or Hater of the Gods.
Time. Yeah, no. Mabel. The second DLC is something we dabbled in, the roguelike game mode and Ashes Reignited. This chess realm chantarage holds a lot of secrets, from the chess matches that Mabel had with Prickett and the White Queen, to signs about loneliness, to the library.
Mary Sue's ability to change was a power unique to her. Wielding it, she crafted and maintained many gardens. As vexing as it is, I'm obliged to admit her genius as a creator.
Seemingly, Baphomet only came to Elysium to usurp Leaf and take the garden to herself, only to become a puppet. This book seems to be from Mary Sue's perspective of her picking an offer to make the protagonist. It truly makes it seem that she made us on a whim.
After Red and White Queen stripped Mary Sue to fancy, after this unique power was stolen from her, they remade the ability to change itself into a new Great One, so that neither of them could use it to trick one another. The Theater of Darkness, Grad going no, a mechanical god existing to be used by the selfish god, unexisting now, exists in the distant past. In the Winterbell castle, it sleeps together with the crown.
I don't know why, but the sudden amount of dialogue here talking about elder gods probably makes me think about Bloodborne more. Considering we also just watched a bunch of video, actually a very, very disturbing video about Bloodborne. Yeah, that's on my mind right now. And I do see the parallel, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's heavy inspiration from it.
She and I were so alike. It was as if I were looking into a mirror. She was born with the same eyes, same hair, same figure as I. This world doesn't need to have the same girl. Seeing me being dragged into gears and crushed, I have frightened my eyes. Mary Sue possesses the Lost Empire, Elysium, the Crawling One, Wonderland, and every Great One has their own garden they made. The new garden, reconstructed by gathering the great many souls and sceneries to scarf nails and piling them all on top of one another in chaos. This chess world chantarage. They mock my jukebox as chaos dungeons.
French-based words?
Understand how much more dazzling it is compared to your worthless little gardens? It's not funny how mimicking human forms, you embrace the emotion called jealousy without worry? The White Queen views this garden as nothing more than a toy box and moose pieces only to fill for vacant actors. despite expecting even newborns to prolong her worthless drama of chasing love.
Wait, that was the White Queen doing that? I thought it was the red.
She's a star waste that tumbled from the throne. She has no way of realizing the charm of my jewel box, unrivaled in the whole galaxy.
Mabel is a bit of a hypocrite, seemingly being insulted by other gods' outlooks on her guard.
Mabel, the girl of nihility. So she's doing the crazy shit, and she doesn't like other people not liking it.
She is trying to be distant from us, trying not to make the same, what she considers to be a mistake, embracing the idea of becoming human, losing the incomprehensible nature of an outer one, and drowning in emotion. And at the time, yeah, I agreed with her. After learning of my Habsburgian legacy here, I was kinda disgusted with almost every covenant in the game. Just how much suffering has the sand farm of a breeding chamber brought us and to random strangers. Node isn't that happy that we talked to Mabel. You met with her, haven't you? Yes, I recognize that scent, and I warned her not to get involved. I'm sure she must have unashamedly broken promise.
Ah, White Queen. I think I know where this is going.
Hasn't told you many lies, isn't that right? Despite Mabel being the oldest, she was exiled from Cosmos, as she indulges in her immortality and laziness, like an infant collecting toys. Note says that Mabel has no understanding of the human heart, therefore her collection is really poor. It is a roguelike game mode after all. Mary Sue's work has affected many great ones, everyone wants to become a writer, and so the gardens will continue to multiply. Surely, nobody would be able to live happily in worlds crafted by selfish gods.
Yeah.
And so, the boss of Depth 9, the old king of chess, begins.
Oh.
The most important mechanics in the DLCs that I have not touched upon is the fact that you can switch weapons mid-combat with no consequence. Since each weapon has unique, cool, and often very specific skills and effects, the meat of the DLC is truly...
Oh, so this one is all about finding the skill you need and then collecting as many skills you can through various weapons. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. But it also means you'd have to understand every single weapon to know which one to use, because otherwise you're wasting time trying to find the right one, which would be the grinding aspect of trying and trying and trying. Oh, God. That is both the coolest thing ever, but also the most annoying, because it would just be, you have a key somewhere, but you have a million keys to search through to find it. I think that would actually drive me crazy.
Becomes your understanding of the game's mechanics and the toolset under your belt. And of course, with the massive tinge of trial and error, it wouldn't be a God Recommends game otherwise. I died, and you will die. You will die a lot from this point on. One mistake will spiral you to the start of the fight, and there are times when you cannot do anything. Even becoming immortal for 3 turns may not save you. But with enough saves coming and putting all the puzzle pieces together, it is really satisfying overcoming each of the bosses.
Oh my! So the king lost. And I even troubled myself with arranging her a rematch against Grimm.
She says that her creation is nothing in comparison to us, Mary Sue's masterpiece. She threatens to collapse the chess world, saying that she should be Airier, since the Goat of 1,000 Young was her favorite. But it seems that we have taken that position.
Was the favorite?
If we so desire, since us and Mabel are some of the few that can traverse gardens freely, we could slip away. But we refuse, with Mabel once again putting herself down for it. But we won, so rewards are in order. She will now show us Cosmos, the realm of the gods.
No great one can escape the fate of ruin, never to prosper. The creations decay as time passes, and eventually, great ones lose their cults and become forgotten as great old ones. As countless stars vanish, scrambling not to tumble from their thrones, great ones set the gardens they themselves created for aggression. Some to wield their authority, some to force their existence to be recognized. Gardens collide with gardens, and the final war between great ones breaks out. The souls of creation, slaughtered without end, finally return into Cosmos. The conclusion of it all is awakening of the idiot, a phenomenon which erases all that exists in Cosmos in an
And that's if she's telling the truth, which this game could easily lie to you on either way.
instant. Everything ends, and what remains is the world of nothingness. There, nothing can be experienced. There, nothing can be created. You cannot go from it anywhere, and all alone. You can only gaze into the infinity of nothingness.
It seems that inevitably, as gardens and the outer ones clash via whatever means they see fit, from infiltration like the Goat of 1,000 Young to whatever clashing gardens means, something will awaken. That means the end of everything. Mabel teases us about
I think we
whether
know
the
who
facts
the
she's
idiot
saying
is.
are true, since the White Queen didn't believe her. Nevertheless, these events will occur, unless we can prevent the final war. Mabel ushers us to make our own garden and join the battle. But we don't have the power to create. Sooner or later, the load of black souls inside of us will become too much to bear, and they will explode the vessel. That moment is our only chance to gather the souls and return them each to go to their place. Mabel says she'd help us with the task. Since we got here, awakening from the dream should be easy. Little does she know, no, it's not gonna be easy. I can't even beat her other challenge. This RPG
Seriously?
game, to no one's surprise, has a fucking boss rush. After not thinking to save scum in the roguelike game mode at all, my mental state was at an all-time low.
Wait,
God, I feel so bad.
Wait. So he's in a roguelike mode where you can save, and he forgot to save scum before entering a boss rush. Oh, I'm sorry. That is a level of, if you lose here, I stop playing the game, levels of frustration. Because losing to a boss, fine. Losing to a boss and then having to redo a significant proportion of the game, which might not work the same way, or, I mean, that might be better, but if it does, oh God, that is always the worst thing, when you don't know what is going to happen. That would drive me absolutely crazy, man.
There's this enemy called Lust Demon Satyr who was in the previous game, and all of his skills are named like, oh yeah, and I no longer see the skill name because I one-shot him. It's depressing. Bro, they should let you save scum the boss rush. After all, this place has such fun mechanics like Zorroing you twice, wheel,
Zorroing?
and the fact that in organizing skills I put a lot of tools in my disposal in storage, that they were mandatory, and for all that we get to fight the girl herself,
Because it was
Mabel.
save scumming.
The fight is a choose your own adventure, and by that I mean nuke or die. As for the reward, and
What?
now I'm ready to beat the shit out of the final DLC.
What?
Welcome to the Crimean Nursing Graveyard, which we reach in a coffin, appropriate for the Bloodborne-inspired area. You see, the crawling one
course it
thought
is.
it would be really funny not only to turn a child that almost drowned named Ugug into a hedgehog, but also to turn the only doctor abducted to these lands into a furry. In this area, we get to learn such fun facts like I am fucking stupid and then I should read messages.
Yeah,
Said
I won't do that
murder
either.
or regret, and I see why everybody is now chasing me. Not only is the
Nope.
gameplay tense, since almost everything in this area and their grandma have Requiem and deal percent-based damage, even before the even more nerve-wracking boss combat begins, the game actively tries to make you shit your pants. The furry is Florence.
Florence Nightingale. Of course, it just... If the game is actively trying to scare me, it would succeed. It would succeed very easily, and I would not be all right.
As in Florence Nightingale, she
Hey, called it.
established the mental ward back in Ludwig Town, and this place right here. And I feel really bad for her. Not only the infinite never-ending patience, but the nature of saving them being impossible, to the point where they experiment with injecting god blood as their only option, resulting in what we see here. Combine all that with Lingerina, an angel that comes to save patients from their suffering while avoiding Florence, and you have a combo of death. Fun fact: talking to Lingerina here sets your difficulty to the max amount. And of course, the jumpscare monster has a PTSD floor in the building.
Oh,
An
God.
infinite battlefield with immortal undead soldiers, eternally locked in war and free tile movement patterns. To force you to do movement puzzles, just equip the Tweedle twins. I sure wonder, why am I dying? At the end of this battlefield, we find a graveyard, as the spirit, now crying, walks towards us. We grabbed the final spark. And then we wake up. The dream of the battlefield seemingly is one of the dreams here that leads patients mad, but it is also thematically adjacent to Florence's mission and life here, a never-ending struggle to save anybody she can. In it, there's hope. Hope that there is an end to the onslaught of patients, to the infinite war. And there is something, some sort of happiness and comfort at the end, for at least the people she can save.
For anyone wondering, Florence Nightingale was a nurse during World War I and is often credited as the inspiration for modern nursing. But also, World War I. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about what the fuck she was dealing with Yeah, it's that level of, oh god, what the fuck.
And with that, if DLC 2 was a nudge to check out all of the mechanics that we might have ignored, DLC 3 is the test, because each boss has special rules that get thrown at you at the start of combat. That information and the hints outside of the boss door is all you get.
Percentage
What are
damage?
the optimal skills for which boss, and what sort of gotcha moments do they have? That remains for you to figure out via pure trial and error, to create a perfectly executed combination of turns that will bring the boss to its knees. And my god, am I loving it. This definitely isn't for everybody. There are things that the game outright doesn't tell you and you're left to
What
intuit
the
them,
fuck
and
is
hope
that?
to god
No,
that
I don't wanna
something
know.
beforehand made you realize what they mean, as well as the UI just being dog shit. There is no grace period to fucking up. Go Gadget Sleep Dust Mega Charge Blast while you're napping like a baby in a crib. Okay, I need the Sleep Resist Ring or the Set of the Abyss for this. Unless you were very vigilant in understanding what certain weapons and items did, looking up hints at this point is also a good idea. Since once again, this game is fucking massive. Rinse
When the guy who doesn't look like he's looking up any of the cheats for this is actively telling you, yeah, you should probably look at a guide. Oh god. Oh, and it was the Crimean War. She died before World War I. Oh, that's my mistake. For some reason, I know it's not part of World War I, but I always think of Crimean War as part of it. And admittedly, I think of a lot of wars around that time period as World War I, even though I know they're explicitly not. For the same reason, I keep thinking the Spanish Civil War was also part of World War II, although technically it happened before it.
and repeat until you pull through. Past here is another boss, and my path back to the bonfire is still fucked. Florence recognizes that we're undead and that our body has been altered by the Outer Ones, just like hers. Our disease is grave. Our being will drag not only the people, but the world, everything to its end and ruin it. She won't declare this incurable, but we would have to accept staying here. Too bad, Florence. Everything dies
We're not
if
allowed
my
to do
ass
that.
doesn't decimate the gardens. So,
My dream is to eradicate all illnesses from this world. I'll never.
Was she the
abandon
great
a
old one in this
patient.
one?
And I'm not so irresponsible as to ditch everything and hope for death. On this body and soul I pledge. I will fight.
Florence
And it's a
is
musket
fine until
tied
she
into
starts
the back
talking
of
to
her.
God, which makes your healing skills and items kill you, including the ones that increase your max HP, like Girl Scent and the Knight's Pride. We learned that the hard way. Besides that, your attack and magic gets set to 1, so the only way to beat her is to use percent and set damage amount skills. Done. Oh, that was tough. And with that done, she begs not to be harmed as she wants to continue her work. Black Souls 2 has been very good with its scenes, them being most of the time completely optional and voluntary, something that the player chooses to do rather than unavoidable coom on every level up. But here, in my case, I've only got 2 choices. I'd have a passive option if I didn't miss out on a short NPC questline in my playthrough, but I choose the option that keeps Florence alive. She, having always felt alone, fighting this insurmountable battle, turned into a beast, is made into a mess of confusion, as she clings to us, telling us not to toss her aside. Maybe in a desperate attempt to stop the curse Mary Sue wrote on us from breaking out. In my naivete, I thought she'd live after this and move on. Little did I know, the curse, the constitution of the tragic hero Mary Sue wrote for us, is working in full action. Lingerina knows of our predisposition and suffering. With her ideal, she fully embraces the idea of killing us to stop the pain caused by the curse.
That is a
saving
look.
countless souls. Yet, she is incapable
Angel.
to kill us. And well, she's
Angel.
crazy. Knowing the never-ending suffering Florence brings to others by trying to cure them, and seeing her in this broken state, Lingerina goes and finishes her off. Thus, the Crimean nursing ground falls into its final rest.
With you inside it still. Brutal, man. Like, this is just the roguelike mode, too. The unicorn and the lion. All the cake?
Next, we wake up in a cell and our new neighbor doesn't even look at us. He logged himself in here
Lord.
to write. When asked about us wanting to go outside, he asks, aren't we already outside? Is the noise of the gears not enough? Go out and yell at them, see all that does. God, what a prick. I hope we never see him again. Outside in the snowfields, we're greeted
Cheshire
with a
Cat?
message saying, strive for a good future no matter what. thanks message. Before finding a blonde girl named Gerda who's searching for a boy her age named Kai. I am so bad at following instructions. The next lad on the list is
That's a lot of
Carbonara,
blood.
the ghost hunter. Jesus Christ, can we stop meeting egotistical writers? They name various mysteries like the Wind of Winterbell and disappearing unicorns. The turmoil here was caused by a fight in between the lion and the unicorn. One of them shall become the ruler of Winterbell, since in Winterbell's frozen castle sits the abandoned crown. The crown is said to fulfill any desire of its wearer. The lion's faction is all about power ruling over the weak, much like the outside world we heard about from Red, while Eunice the unicorn states that there aren't a lot of
Did they actually do what I think
much
they
like
did?
the outside world we heard about from Red, while Eunice the unicorn
You son of a... Yeah, you made a freaking Charlie the unicorn. Oh, God. I hadn't thought about that in literally years, and now it's back.
Unicorn states that there aren't a lot of males here. She wishes to bring equality and to stop the horrors that the lions have been up to. The messages give some foreshadowing about the rewards from the lion being better, but I still pick the unicorn, because Layden would snap me like a twig. Now a cog blocks the other path, while one unicorn ushers us to be a little faster. At this point, I had forgotten that turning human again is a mechanic, and that killing bosses gives me back my humanity. Unlike me, however, the DLC is fully conscious of it, just don't fall off the chin, oh motherfucker. Beating him wasn't that hard, the issue was the basic enemy behind him, and at that point I went, he's a nightmare spirit, why bother? So I skipped him. I cannot keep talking about every boss in this DLC even if I want to, but let me have this one. The Wind of Winterbell is a boss I've literally lost sleep to. You start the fight looking at his toes before he fades the screen to white, then after a turn or a couple you meet him at high level. You die. There are hints in this area about putting on an exploration ring we get in the base game. No fall damage. Hell, one might put it to walk on the chain, but the game makes you panic by summoning this asshole, making you take it off and then possibly forget about it. Canonically, in the middle of this fight, the boss tosses you into the air and you die to fall damage. I remember that the ring negating
That's actually brilliant. Sorry, just every game I've ever played that has fall damage, it's either the thing you fall off the edge and you just walked off the edge and you died, or you randomly did some bullshit with it. I don't usually see many enemies weaponizing fall damage, so hearing it taken advantage of, it's actually kind of insanely cool, and I really like it. Even if, in context, that still is freaky as hell.
exists while brushing my teeth before heading to bed, and then I killed it in 2 turns before it could do anything.
Oh!
I feel like this is the quintessential Black Souls experience. Good job, Karnaki, you totally saved me. This also means I beat a boss. Again. Oh, for fuck's sake, just do it to me.
Bird.
Trying to find my way off of the roofs of the castle town, I found what I thought to be the answer, only for...
It
What?
is I have come to hunt you down and rebuild the Black Trial.
Yeah, no, Miranda's a ghoul now and Hein wants to be a conductor.
Silence! We both may be undead, but your tales are at the bottom of my trope tier list.
Ooh. The Black Knight. Oh.
This was the hardest
that
fight
is,
in the DLC for me. Not for the dark damage, not for the easily counterable crits, but for the pure amount of bullshit Lindamea is capable of. The beefy part of this fight is the end of Phase 2, where both you and Lindamea become immortal, and you're forced to run down the clock with you surviving and Lindamea at 0 HP. The issue? Everything this fucker does. He can
So in other words, you have to make sure that when the immortality ends, you're alive and he's not.
stun, he will break your guard, he will inflict so many status effects your ass will not see what is coming, and every goddamn reset picks you back to having to wait out the goddamn 20-turn clock, with one failure in phase
20
1 or 2,
turns!
sending you back to the start.
So we finish off the hearse.
Oh god, it's like, you're overpowered, you can kill anything normally! Let's give you all the reasons that normal will never matter. Oh god, and the thing is, if you don't break your character, it sounds like you don't even get to the chance to survive this long. So this is a game where the starting point is break your character and then see if you can get through the rest. And this is DLC 3. Mabel boss fight was DLC 2. Oh jeez.
The hearse whips.
I'm gonna be in the fucking hearse before I finish this fucking fight.
That is a lot of numbers.
Lindamea threatens Red Hood and tells us that he'll re-establish the Black Trial.
And don't forget, for as long as the realm you're in is a garden, from its every sharp corner, I'll appear to hunt.
Outside of that, this is the 87th fight for the crown. The lion and the unicorn finished all the cake. Is that like a statement or a name of a show?
Ate
like
all the
an
cake?
act? And so, at
least
the
it wasn't
gates of
a
the
lie.
frozen castle stands Leiden, telling us that she'll take everything as tribute before calling Eunice an exile, even if Eunice said she was close to the White Queen. Eunice joins at our side, saying that people are happier when enclosed and given direction rather than in anarchy. There really was no good choice here, and so we
Yeah.
beat her up. That's it. Barely any gimmick.
Wait, what was the big art for her?
Really was
Those
no
were like
good
some
choice
giant
here.
axes.
And so we beat her
Oh, yeah, she see like the... Oh, yeah, she's wearing the lion face as well.
up. That's it. Barely any gimmick. She just falls over.
Oh.
With that, Winterbell will come to peace, and we will be rewarded our knighthood. We can ask for more of a reward, though. After a JOI-ass seed with no touching or skinship whatsoever, my conclusion was,
I should have taken the souls.
at least we can add that to the tag list. Oh, she's trying to stab me. Oh, we're betrayed again. Is this what the messages about the rewards at the end of the road were? Yes. You see, Eunice never saw us as an ally. She is a man-hating feminist who murders all men, and her country of equality is for...
Also, the entire thing about unicorns murdering men, that's not entirely uncommon. One of the ways they looked at it was to do that. The other one was also murdering women who were not pure enough. And by pure, I mean... Actually, that depends on the author you're using, but there's been a very few interesting... Either virgin or not doing anything that could be considered impure. So you could take your entire bet of, are you a saint? No? Guess who's food? I'm not carnivorous. Yeah, some old lore for unicorns are really fucked up.
women only. We are God's blender. Haha, little does she know. She hates all men, and women who like men. In this dialogue exists. Eunice as a character, and this entire arc, at least for me, is extremely underwhelming. This entire plot line isn't a plot line. It's a hero hey video. Comparatively, she is one of the characters that places most of her personality forth in an obvious manner, yet she's really shallow, both in her reasoning and what she does. Even as a villain, we're supposed to only hate. Anyways, Mabel, shut her up. Thank you.
Shut her up.
Mabel will be waiting for us just ahead. I chose to let Eunice go, but she did feign being our companion for a bit. Lo and behold, Leaf's curse is once again in full action, as her comrades burn her at the stake, leaving us to continue where Mabel awaits. Beyond
Why are
the
you
frozen
slightly
castle
not
door
visible?
lies the kingdom of eternal winter, Winterbell. The White Queen has already abandoned her country, though the country still isn't fully abandoned. The crown we've been hearing about has been making good use of it. We know the crown by the name of Grandal. How come the stage which was the cornerstone of Wonderland's creation still exists? The front stage topples over into the backstage.
Let's see what the White Queen hid there together. Shall we?
Oh, jeez. Is it gonna be bad?
Mabel
What?
muses about the nature of this garden, joking about her own logic of making things as she runs
Oh,
off after
winter
smelling something.
beach?
Welcome to Winterbell.
Act 3, Winter of Memories. Hey, sup, Sam? Thanks for dropping in.
The final area of the DLC, a Lovecraftian city of white outside of logic, of time and space, dotted around with what I can only assume are our extra kids, awaiting their turn to take the places of the current actors, maybe even the current actors themselves, existing now in the past and the future. As the Cheshire Cat says,
Even the chiming of the bell sleeping in your memory is drowned out by the gears of your mind. This garden is frozen, and so there's no future. And so the past repeats.
the area is dotted with buildings you can enter. One, as if made to Mabel's wishes, is filled with wine. She hands us a bottle and invites us for a drink.
She just got drunk in a wine cellar. That's one way to do
This
it.
is exactly what you need to immerse yourself into the mundane world. The concentration of alcohol in this bottle is just right to make you feel nice. By the way, there must be something crazy about your mental makeup. Well, if you were linked to outer ones, you know. All the great ones are calculative. Their souls murky with black taint. But I'm still working my hardest to keep pace with your kind and understand, you know? For example,
I love the voice acting they dragged into this. It's actually very
Sorry.
good.
Let me tell you a funny joke. It's wonderful
The outer god got
when
drunk?
an author dies. Since there's no chance of any new works, their patrons can cut all ties. So, how
Yeah, no, Disney has made sure that's not the case anymore. Don't worry, even when you're dead, we will still milk your corpse. Phrases that I really wish I wasn't saying.
Was it? Was it funny? Hey, listen! I'm like the oldest around, the greatest, but everyone keeps bullying me, calling me a fossil.
Oh god, it's a drunk old lady.
Past and so on. Poor little May May. Her role is going to prop Alice up.
Mabel shares some warm dialogue, humanizing herself a little. Well, at least for someone who seems against the idea of losing their identity as an outer one. As we'll soon see, each building holds memories.
Oh?
The first one is of little sister Alice coming to visit Mabel, saying that older sister Alice vanished a few cycles ago. A few outer ones disappeared from the garden. The branch of the crawling one puts the blame on Mabel, deducting that Mabel must have trapped them in her realm, suspecting that even the crawling one is in on this, a plan to slaughter the outer ones. But Mabel simply responds,
Wear the role, and even your soul will sink into the actor, until you forget what you truly are.
The outer ones that disappeared must have realized the fact that as they stay here, as they put on roles and propagate with Grimm, they slowly lose their incomprehensible nature. They become people-like, gain emotions, even attachments. Even the crawling one has already gone mad, but when given the suggestion of leaving, little sister Alice proves Mabel's words. She refuses to run away, because mother and daughter Alice are here. How human have they all become? Node and Mabel are talking on a beach. It's the moment when Mabel chooses to stop playing along with what's happening in Wonderland. Mabel was intrigued by Leaf's creation, yet calls us a ghoul in heat. Although Mabel wouldn't mind taking us into her chantarage. Node is opposed in every way, telling Mabel that she's just...
They mentioned chantarage. I'm assuming that's actually a word. I think people mentioned it was French earlier, and I don't know French, so I'm not ever going to understand that.
The parasite sucking off of other people's work.
Tell me your own true nature. What can be the reason you went so far as tossing me the crown to shelter that child?
Wait, so this happened not before the game, but sometime during it? Okay.
Could it be you want to take and devour it? To recline on your throne? To rule and to exploit? That is a great one's true nature. Am I wrong?
But Node denies that about herself. Node says that she's driven by love. Mabel laughs, saying that that's just an instinct, while Node continues to affirm that she understands emotions. It is a language that transcends species, the glorious human heart that can give birth to each and every emotion. That is the one miracle an outer one wishes to obtain, even if it's only Fox humanity. I want to understand him. I want to know true love. I want to experience it. With this, I was once again grabbed by the legs and twisted around from the disgust I felt. The feeling of animosity against the outer ones somewhat started to fade, at least for Node and Mabel. These two seem to consciously fully understand what they're doing. Mabel as a way out for others, and Node as someone who wants to give you unconditional love, who voluntarily wants to become more human. This game is incredible at blame, and making you blame whoever is on screen. Mary Sue is responsible for our suffering, or is it Prayer Master who may have called the crawling one to come to the tea party? Is it Lewis Carroll praying for a second chance at life, where all his dreams come true? Is Cootie at fault for running away from home only?
It almost feels like it's a clown car of people at fault all running into the same thing. Also be told chantarage is Arabic. Predecessor of modern chess, derived from the Indian board game. Oh, that's kind of cool. So basically, everyone fucked around, and now they're all finding out.
To find
But
the life she despises.
that's also what they were looking
Even
for.
if she brainwashed a guy. It truly makes you scratch that everyone feels small in the grand scheme of things, of each other's actions and belief. Mabel, however, does not believe in an outer one understanding human emotions. As Node and Mabel quarrel, Mabel finally reaches her point. She'd like to talk to Node about something, telling her that she'll get the love she desires.
Oh?
Next is a memory of Leaf losing her power, as Mary Sue continues her desperate pleas and deception,
Oh,
asking to be saved.
because that's where she
Node
lost the
says
name,
that
because she wasn't
already
Mary
saved
Sue
her.
anymore.
If Node had come any later, the crawling one would have consumed her. Node tells Mary Sue that her creations have a negative impact on the Great Ones. As Sue teases her, after all, Node is in love with one of her creations. The short exchange ends, only for an unknown face to appear, saying, "Mary, Mary, my cute little Mary, do you want out of here?"
So this would have happened right between game 1 and game 2 then. Okay.
A red room doused and splashed in blood as a girl sinks a knife into herself
What?
over and over again. That girl being Prickett. With her blood and tears, the room will soon turn into a pond. As she continuously says she's sorry over and over again, Node grabs her hand to stop her. Even now he's suffering all because of me, and so, because of it, that's why I want to share in his pain. We will never meet again, but in doing so I can surely at least grasp his suffering. This is foolishness. Your harming will not aid him. He would never wish for your pain. Is what Node wanted to say, but she's in no place to admonish her, from a seat where she herself can be blamed for nothing, one that corrects the garden to the wishes of the crawling one. Node just apologizes for being unable to follow Prickett's wishes. Prickett is another outer one who just wants to be human, as Node hugs her, not as an outer one, but as someone who understands, loving the same person she does. Node meets Prickett again, thanking her for inheriting the country and becoming the Red Queen. Prickett simply is thankful, saying that it's a bit of a shame that Winterbell is gone now, but not to worry, Prickett is planning of building an amusement park. You've changed. It's hard to believe you were once a part of the crawling one. Prickett takes Node to her personal domain, somewhere where even the crawling one can't hear. As Node
So that's what was going on there. Is this the war that they were getting? The idiot makes them human so they can die. Does that also mean the one who gets to see the infinite, endless nothing is the one who doesn't die? Oh, that'd be even more disturbing.
asks if Prickett has found a way to save him. Prickett responds, yes, but she won't be able to do it alone. But Node has to promise to be ready to lay down her life for him. Node responds with no hesitation. The chance for the plan to succeed is incredibly low. It would be a miracle if
and
it
this
did.
would be why you
But
see
Prickett
so many
thinks
familiar
that
faces,
is the only way
huh?
to tear him out of the curse of the cycles and to return him to reality. Node asks if Prickett told anyone else about the plan. Prickett responds, no one, while Node catches her in a lie. Prickett confesses that she also talked to Mabel. Node is disappointed, but Prickett continues questioning her existence, the sadness she feels being unable to do anything for him. Node, I just can't keep going. Why am I alive? I don't understand. Only seeing his face unable to do anything at all, it makes me want to break down in tears. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud.
Are they fucking quoting the Bible? That is not what I was expecting on this one. I'm not even sure that's the Bible. I know it's said often in weddings, though.
Is it not so?
Not what I was expecting to hear on this one, of all places.
Telling her that to save him, she'll help. Prickett in general is quite strange. She doesn't transform into a monster at 0 sanity, nor she does fighting her. She flashes into Alice if you talk to her at 0 sen. And with the knowledge we have now, some of her dialogue is recontextualized. Her coming from space. The theme park being prepared just for us. The fact that we even get special treatment and question it. And the fact that she says, why not sneak away, just like Prickett, and tells us to not to forget our Alice. The fact that she cries after seeing the Tea Party movie. Why would she cry after that?
What?
And with that, we continue on through Winterbell. What I didn't realize is that I'm in for the biggest twist yet.
The king of chess in the last time. Oh no! Why? I'm about to get kicked in the nuts, aren't I? And you're according to Captain, he was from the Bible. Okay. Amber adaptation. Actually, 1 second. Sorry, had to sneeze and cough.
Why? This turns into a visual novel. There's a note on the cover.
Oh, this is actually what it looks like in game. He's not just rendering something.
Oh. Oh no.
Your time disappeared.
Oh no.
We play as Lewis Carroll in the little household, as we're left to take care of the 3 daughters of the family and do various tasks, such as night watch. Alice tells us that in here there is another girl besides the 3 sisters, that if she found us, she'd kill us. This visual novel sequence is full of references to Alice in Wonderland and game details scattered about. Outside of the shitting of my pants, there is not a lot to talk about in this segment. It is just good horror. Ignoring doing everything correctly. Just go for the bad end. The good end is no good, nuh-uh.
Hey, yo, the pizza here!
With that, we escape the dream. Mabel simply states that what we're enjoying now is a false world, a false happiness. What else is new? There is a better future than such star waste. The present, future, and past of this place has converged, as an another us and an another Mabel appear on screen. Our soul is bound to the power that made us, which is now 𝙍𝙚𝙙𝙙𝙙𝙙. It wishes to meet us. Who would have guessed that the stage itself has an ego? We meet the random frog that was in the previous game. The games.
Why is this? It's a bunch of outer gods trying to become human and fucking everything up in the process, but also getting what they want in all the ways they probably didn't want.
Why is he drawn like that?
That's supposed to be a frog?
To take care of our daughters before we take the final plunge. Carnegie lays there defeated after learning that there was no crown. He hands us his book before vanishing, or he would, if I exhausted his dialogue. Lo and behold, I miss out on the ending of the only character questline I completed. Actual Black Souls moment. And so Mabel tells us that past here is 𝙍𝙚𝙙𝙙𝙙𝙙, something we'd like to have. But we ask Mabel, what's in this for her? She responds simply with a, "Can't you trust me?" She gives another snarky remark before saying that all whose gardens we experience believe that a story lives through repetition. No matter how many times you consume tasteless drivel, the only thing you'll feel is boredom. Like it is impossible to create purity in a tainted soul. Sooner or later, we will break. That's why 𝙍𝙚𝙙𝙙𝙙𝙙 needs us. The ability to create would mix with the power to innovate. Surely the gardens made in this unity would be beautiful. Mabel comforts us, that it might feel lonely to welcome the end. But there is nothing to be scared about.
Well,
Clockwork?
that's certainly one narrow staircase.
Yeah, they did mention something about a clockwork god earlier. Or am I just forgetting something being weird?
It's poorly designed in all aspects. Now, my garden, on the other hand.
Mabel shitposts as we descend down the stairs.
That's quite right. Great ones are so happy to be praised and wanted, they just recklessly manifest into reality. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me la la.
Just as my luck would have it, out of around 20 minutes worth of RNG dialogue that you can get from the stairway,
There are 20 minutes of dialogue. No, I must have misheard that.
my luck would have it, out of around 20 minutes worth of RNG dialogue that you can get from the stairway,
It's not even 20 minutes of dialogue, it's 20 minutes of RNG, so you get random amounts of it. So it's not actually 20 minutes long, but if you do it 20 minutes different times, eventually you can get all 20 minutes of different recorded dialogue. I can't tell if that is the coolest thing ever or the most terrifying thing to have to write for the creator. This is...
I got a horrific outcome, as she asks me if I'm sure about not bringing my daughters with me. She says that we could use them in a war, or as slaves to sate our lust, as if she's trying to mimic Leaf. This is off-putting for a final chat, like all the time attaching to her is slipping past our fingers. She's acting weird. She continues talking about Princess Carrie's, directly lying about the shapes outer ones can take. And this so-called date comes to a close. We see what Grimm, or well, Lewis Carroll identifies as Little's doll. Mabel says this is 𝙍𝙚𝙙𝙙𝙙𝙙, mimicking the shape of a doll. Quite dreadful, according to her.
Oh no, betrayal.
What sad, pitiful Grimm. Yet again, you've been deceived. Even the last straw you clung to has betrayed you. 𝙍𝙚𝙙𝙙𝙙𝙙 is some convenient Deux ex machina. You've been
Deux?
summoned here
Oh,
as a
Deus.
snack to be fed upon. With your current vessel, you can't become the king. Therefore, you'll have to be transferred to a new one. That is the real reason for your invitation. I'm terribly sorry. Mabel really is one awful girl, isn't she?
Not
The
talking
fanciful
about her...
will come to an end as nothingness spreads. Past, present, and future, everything will share the same fate. If such a conclusion terrifies you, then go forth without looking back. Follow the script and offer yourself to Grandal!
The walls close in on her.
My. Do you hate me so? Do you want to kill me?
Who is this supposed to be? Because she's talking about Mabel is horrible, but like, does she often talk about herself in the third person? I didn't play the game, obviously, because there's no way I would survive this. But it didn't seem like that was the
I
case.
suppose it's only natural. But you've no need to worry. Mabel will die, even if that's this. It seems I served my purpose. I did enjoy it, you know. Playing love with you. You're running out of time, even for yourself. Much less care about me. Hurry ahead.
The bars don't bend.
It's pointless. Your actions are futile. This is an execution site built just for me. It has been changed so that it cannot be stopped or destroyed.
And she pushed him out so he couldn't.
I don't get it. Do you not hate me? Are you not trying to kill me? Why do you look so sad? I don't understand it. I just can't understand the human heart. Why? Listen to me. It's all right. Calm down and listen. To tell you the truth, I don't get the taste of wine. I can't even feel it. I simply get drunk on the atmosphere. I was only acting out to look just a little bit friendlier to you. Nothing more. The outer ones cannot understand humans, after all. But you alone, just a little bit. I understood. The hot feeling filling my chest now. I'm sure it must be the same as human emotions. Don't cry. It's time for you to go. Close your eyes, alright?
Please don't tell me there's actually another scene of those things closing in on her. Because never mind, I know exactly what kind of horrible hand-drawn monstrosity this is. They are definitely about to show it. Or they're just going
We
to leave
have
a
little
stain.
time to mourn Mabel's sacrifice. She, at least for my unique playthrough, billed herself as a villain walking down the stairs, trying to make this as light on us as possible, trying to get us to turn around and resent her without a second thought. But
So I thought it was someone else playing at being her, but no, it was actually just her trying to get you to walk away.
we have once again beaten a boss. Therefore, we are human again. Therefore, just kill me, you envieful bird bastard. This one is actually quite a fun puzzle fight, since you have to stun him during his turn.
I did not do it. Oh,
And so, the final fight begins.
what?
We're back in the breeding room. The text above the door now saying Rand
The eyes
Google as
everywhere.
Alice stands before turning into a doll. She
What?
beckons us to come closer, saying, "Let us finally become one." Being insane and choosing to offer your soul shows us just how unconditional Node's love is. She wakes us up, telling us about the never-ending assault on Wonderland that the crawling one is doing. Presumably, we have now taken over the garden. Now that we awakened as a creator, it shouldn't be much to deal with, as the garden is ours, our children are plenty, and in full force they will take over the skies. Together we will all head towards the end of the world. We don't have to fear anything anymore, as Node once again joins with whatever mush of a being we've become. Picking resist.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Node is definitely too good for the main character. Granted, a lot of the characters are. Ugh.
Pits us against Grand Guganol with its 6 acts, presumably from Lord's newspaper, Stillbirth, Ultimate Torture, since the mental word Waxwork, and the Faceless Man. The first fight begins. The one
That's fucked
representing Waxwork. This phase is quite simple, not requiring much from the player outside of dealing damage. The next is Femme Fatale. It is a question if these names or the names seen prior stand, since Lord, the asshole that keeps attacking us when we're human, seemingly had Grand Guganol taken from him. The 3 Alices we face in this phase are each named after one of the books of Lewis
Wonderland,
Carroll.
Looking
At
Glass,
this point, the most unfortunate thing has happened. I built up God's angels, trivializing the entire fight. The lion and the unicorn mixes Layden's and Unice's debuffs together, leaving you only able to attack. Next is Pure White Prison, possibly being a nod to the sins of the mental asylum mentioned in the paper, which keeps reducing your max HP and speed each turn. After that is No Face.
Wait. He said what I think he said, right?
The entire fight. The lion and the unicorn mixes Layden. I built up God's angels, trivializing the entire fight. The lion.
So basically, he accidentally was too good at the game. Not what I was expecting to hear here. Also, Sam, heading out. Oh, thanks for dropping in then.
And then the unicorn mixes late ends being a nod to the sins of the mental asylum mentioned in the paper, which keeps reducing your max HP and speed each turn. After that,
Except
it's no face.
it didn't survive.
Something that does correspond to one of Lord's plays. Killing it as fast as possible is priority as it gains an extra turn each turn. Next phase is Alice in Marriage, turning
Extra turn each turn. So it's 1, then 2, then 1, then 3, then 1, then 4, then... Oh, God! That would absolutely destroy me,
her
man.
stats down. The worst nightmare of Lewis Carroll we learned about throughout the game. The cogs around her and the clock signifying the passing of time and Alice leaving him behind.
And also having the rabbit ears coming right out of the eyes.
And after
horns.
that is Grand Guignol itself, a representation of all of Wonderland. As we get to tear this god Mabel Marisu's power bit by bit.
And it's literally disappearing as you do damage to it.
The doll flashes in the location of every roll of the play where every outer one stood, as it fades to dust that
Story
we absorb
ended.
into ourselves. Node, the real one, walks up to us, looking at us from the bottom of the stage, holding a blade. You finally reached the end? Because the ever-turning gears have stopped, I've never been so terrified of the passage of time in my life. I want your love. How frustrating it was to have that beautiful glow right before me, yet out of my reach. And then, at last, I realized that we were never going to be together. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And for that reason, I'm stepping aside. My end
What?
is not an unhappy one. Being able to meet you, being able to spend so much time with you, all of it made me truly, truly happy. It was a good reality.
White Queen Node.
The
Yep.
crawling one has caught up as Node and the Cheshire Cat now stand in their way. Daughter Alice, Mother Alice, Little Sister Alice try to stop us. Before Little Sister Alice swats the two others away and pushes us to go, she out of the trio is the one in denial of her role of loving us, unlike the other two, who are completely lost to it. They are left to infight before the mad trio jumps them. We cross the ravine forming as both Winterbell and Wonderland start to collapse, forced to take a final leap of faith, only for a
And because of the people at the end who don't love you, who are trying to let you finish what you want. Oh, that's so incredibly fucked up, but it's actually fitting. It's the Alice who believes they don't love you, the Node who decides to give up on it. They're the ones who stand by you because the rest don't want it to end.
hand to be caught by Red Hood.
Grimm! It's okay. We won't ever separate again.
But she's physically too weak. A slip of a girl lifting up an entire 8-man man. No, that's not the issue. Her expression looks into the void under me as something squirms, pulling me down. It's the crawling one. Red Hood has no intention of letting go. But what is next after this, after we get out? Red has implied the idea of finding a way to bring back our companions from the first game. But in stories, it's often very easy to empathize with the insane goals made by protagonists. The circumstances, the voiced outlooks, everything justifies to the player that we're striving for a brighter future. That something as insane as dethroning
Spoiler
an
cube?
omnipotent ruler
I
at
don't
the cost
know
of your
nearly enough
country,
about that.
reviving old allies, moving on and living is the right choice. The fact that our very existence, very being, will bring pain to others. The fact that we're partially one of the multitude of factors to blame for the state of the world. Everything we experience is disconnected yet intertwined with reality. The connections we made are fairy tale characters brought to life, real people overwritten, copies of people, gods pretending till they lose godhood, us continuously put through horrific circumstances out of our control. What does it mean to move on? To fill the selfish need to want to bring back those that possibly should have not existed in the first place in this unfair reality? Who's to guarantee if we ever bring back Dorothy, she wouldn't assimilate into the world where the strong rule? What about Prickett, Node, anybody else we only met under these twisted circumstances of the gods bringing down abnormal horrors? Not only to us, but to the entire world. This is just how the world is now. A lot of this game in essence is about the idea of self-driven action versus conformity. Cudi deciding to run away from home in search of romance. Cudi deciding to stand against Node. Outer ones deciding to leave after realizing they are losing their nature. Mabel choosing to distance herself from becoming human, when so many make no choice and just meld into their roles, unconsciously losing themselves in the process. Is that also our doing? Florence ushered us to give up. Ununice, stretching the definition, blamed us for what we are. We are
What did it say there? This game is lucky it's set in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Yeah.
We are cursed and will bring misfortune to others, all because Leaf chose to make Elysium Prayer Master's prayer, our prayer. We put the blade against our arm.
What are you? No, Grimm, please. Stop. Don't.
Cutting off your own arm. God damn.
But now, all will be well. Together with the crawling girls we fall, and fall, and fall, and crash.
Hell end.
Just how much time have I lost? I don't know anymore. Surrounded by the little girls, I'm in a death hell on repeat. The gear stands still. In solitude, I too sit still. I'm being crushed to death by the love of the little girl I do not know. I'm being painted over. My memory, personality, all is being overwritten by Alice. The pain of being devoured alive floods me. Wrought flesh crumbles, bone outside, exposed. Soul warps. My mind is a pot of murky rancid soup. Where am I? Color.
God damn you! Ah! You're in such an incredibly dark, fucked up, and vividly depressing moment where you're reading out well, and then random soup from Code Ment of all places. That was not what I was expecting. Damn it!
Vanishes, turns to ash. I sink into the pit of sloth. Who am I?
And actually, as it's all pixelating further and further. I thought that was an effect, but no, it's literally everything.
Or Grimm.
Also, yes, like you said, this is 2 misery videos in a row. No, it's been a lot more than that. Oh God,
Please open your eyes. You can't fall asleep. In the darkness, I hear the voice of the dear little girl, but my memory is dead. I cannot remember it, and I do not care. Now you can finally escape. You can return to reality. I'm already so tired. Please just let me sleep. My existence alone brings sorrow to everyone. I only want to disappear, unknown by all. Is this what you really want? If your countless repeats, is this where you want your end to be? Is this the scenery you struggled so hard to reach? No, I won't accept it. This is the worst tale. I'm sorry. Because of me, you've suffered so. I shouldn't have run away. Like now, I should have been by your side. The crawling one doesn't move. Time stands still. But at least, I can finally save you. Come, follow me. The girl leading me, I stumble through the darkness. Light shines through
crawling
and I
one
see
being
it.
everything and
This
everywhere.
is the door leading
Eventually
inside.
an ending.
I step into the white world. Before I realize it, her hand has left mine. She's standing away, seeing me off with a smile.
And they've also drawn her slightly different than every other version of Alice, with her colors in gray, with the tiniest, almost impossible. I can't even tell if it's blue or just gray, and my eyes are tricking me because I think it should be blue.
Come together with me. I reach out to clasp her hand once more, but she remains in the darkness, smiling yet unmoving. I'm sorry, I can't be with you anymore. My memories, my touch, please forget it, all like a dream. And walk, run, never stopping, never turning back. I'm sure you'll struggle through. No, I will never forget you. Alice, one day I'll take your gentle hand, I'll return to save you, and we'll reunite as lovers once more.
Heartbroken end. How many ends were there?
This is the ending you get by having Prickett's ring in your inventory, as we see Leaf fly by the screen one last time.
Oh God, and she's happy.
Conformity isn't ideal either. I mean, Node, Prickett, and Mabel all made their choice themselves, from choosing to learn human emotions, to staying away from them, to guiding us. Here, the force for us to act is external. People, well in this case creatures, who care about you, show affection and push you towards a better life. These kinds of people are precious, since we all know how much of doing nothing we can do in our lives. Just as earlier I called our predisposition a melancholic look at fate, that isn't the full picture of our being or our life. It is true that with or without us, people will continue acting on selfish whims. Everyone will live, have things happen to them with or without us, for the better or worse, just like we ourselves live, caring about us. Even Florence, if you do the quest back in the Wonderland properly, puts her hope in us. What's another...
So there were actually a ton of other options he didn't even get to because it was just his one time going through it. How big is it? Like, he's talking about how this is a huge game and there's things he doesn't know, but how big are we talking? Like, is he going through like roughly solid like 60% of the game, 50%, 10% of the game? How many other options? Or is it even possible that there is a good end in there somewhere if you have like an absurd amount of endings that just happen to work together? Or is it always just worse somehow?
For the count. With the support of everyone who put their affection into us, at my first fucking opportunity, I'm pulling out my machine gun and shooting at the fucking moon. If these selfish gods can descend upon the earth and make a bunch of stupid gardens pretending to be writers, what takes the right away from us to work for any sort of a better future that so many of our companions talked about, and not only talked about, worked to give us? As long as we're not ruining anybody's whole existence, maybe shouting out and stumbling until we bring those we care about back is in fact worth a shot. But for now, there's more important ways to spend our time than wandering lost looking for the next step.
The morning sun is beautiful.
It is.
Hey, could you clasp my hand?
Yes, certainly.
Today is the happiest day of my life. If only it could last forever.
I'm sure it will.
He's standing by someone dying, isn't he?
It is a bit of a tangent, but I like to close off this video with a pre-word from the first edition of Brothers Grimm's Tales. Wherever the tales still exist, they continue to live in such a way that nobody ponders whether they are good or bad, poetic or crude. People know them and love them because they have simply absorbed them in a habitual way, and they take pleasure in them without having any reason. This is
Ironically, that is completely accurate still, because people know Red Riding Hood, they know the Three Bears, so many others, Mother's Goose, like so many fairy tales, not even just the Brothers Grimm, but so many of them, you know them. It's like childhood. It's what you get. And I know I'm talking about very specifically Western European, but this would also apply to some of the stories you get in other cultures, like Momotaro for someone who's been on the more, I think, Japanese descent, or various other things like even Journey to the West, although that one is getting into a lot more places than just China, for example. You do take pleasure in the stories you've heard forever.
is exactly why the custom of storytelling is so marvelous, and it is just what this poetic art has in common with everything eternal. People are obliged to be disposed toward it, despite the objections of others. Incidentally, it is easy to observe that the custom of storytelling has stuck only where poetry has enjoyed a lively reception, and where the imagination has not yet been obliterated by the perversities of life. In the same regard, we don't want to praise the tales or even defend them against a contrary opinion. Their mere existence suffices to defend them. That which has managed to provide so much pleasure time and again, and has moved people and taught them something, carries its own necessity in itself, and has certainly emanated from that eternal source that moistens all life. And
because even though the Brothers Grimm were mostly credited with collecting the stories, they were just doing that, collecting them. These stories, a lot of them existed well before they did that and codified them.
And if it were only a single drop that a folded leaf embraces, it will nevertheless glitter in the early...
And that's why they called her main character Leaf. Or the girl, Mary Sue, was going by Leaf. It was literally a reference to this.
Dawn. This text is purely written in regard to spoken tales, but I think it fits all forms of media. I value questionable games a lot. Blue Archive for its depiction of depression. This for all I've talked about.
Wait, why was he bringing up Azure? Was that Blue Archive? I don't know anything about Blue Archive. I remember I played it the day it came out. I was like, I don't really like the gameplay. And stopped. I keep hearing it's actually really fucked up, though, every time I hear more about it.
But it would be naive to assume that everyone protects them for the same reason. Depictions of controversial topics in media is a touchy subject, and the person's ability to tolerate it
Oh, yeah, Berserk.
It is very much tied to their own personal experiences.
Oh, God.
For example, there is a character in Black Souls 1 that actually personally disturbed me. The brothel worker Mary just makes me ask, why? She refuses to go with you to the safe place unless you shove her in the dungeon. And if you kill her there past progression 5, tada, you get a ring! I never did that. I don't even know what the ring does. If you progress far enough, the brothel gets overrun by demon beasts and Mary herself becomes one, a fleshy slime humanoid figure summoning baby enemies one by one.
Okay.
Just like, why? What is the game trying to tell by this, if anything? Abortion
And
bad?
is it trying to tell
Sorry,
anything
babe,
at all?
No protection. It's the 1600s and the horse stays on during sex. I personally was disturbed by the visual of this, even if it barely tangentially related to something that had happened to a couple of people I know. Can I in good faith say that if something horrifying happened to someone
Fish
around
everywhere.
me, something more aligned with the themes of the game, would I still be able to speak of it the way I do? None of us can choose how, if at all, we'll be remembered, how people will look back on our lives, statements, work, and what that may inspire. Even I, making this, have no idea what responses I'll get and what people will say about my work. About me.
I know what I'll say. Oh dear God, man, you have spent way too much time on something that admittedly would break me way earlier. I'm both impressed and terrified at your accomplishment.
I am happy to have played these games and made this video the time I did. I have held many, many horrible opinions in the past, and often looking at the other side of the argument, all I found was laughter, no explanation, nothing to relate to. So even if this video ends up being tone deaf, I hope it can be at least a start of an understanding and discussion for a few, as self-centered and pretentious and egotistical this statement is. All the current me can say is that no matter what you believe in, and no matter what you say, at least I know that as a person living life, taking actions that impact others, having people who care about you, you are more than what you say or believe in. You have more experiences in you than inserted by your cynical fat joke here. Of course, that doesn't absolve you of your statements, actions, or
I
beliefs.
feel I'm missing a joke.
I just can't bring myself to hate or ruin anybody but the truly guilty. And if you'd like to prove the at least I part of these statements wrong, do better. So that one day I can say us, or we. Thank you for watching.
God damn. I mean, I knew Black Souls would be... I mean, from the very beginning, I knew it would be a thing, and... I could never get through this. One, because I suck at grinding games. I just can't bother. I don't have the time or the patience to sit around long enough to do that when there's like a million other things I've been putting off doing at the same time. That is less of a joke every year. But I do love what's going on here because there's so much and it's so fascinating. And I want more of this man. And I want more to see what's going on. I want to see what's happening. God damn. It's like I want to see what happens next, but I also know that is literally the exact opposite. And people in the chat are saying that let's hope for Dead Red HOD later this year. So apparently it's not even over yet. It's just moving forward. And but at the same time, it feels... Martin said it feels like misery porn. And a lot of it feels that way, but I think the other alternative to that is it's finding a way to move through horrible misery. It feels like it is horrible, but moving through the horribleness is what makes it worthwhile. But at the same time, it is horrible. Like, you got to have the stomach for it. I could not do it, but I could see how other people who could deal with the horrible want to see that bit of beauty that comes with knowing the characters and getting to actually experience them and the growth and then ultimately the death of it. It's horrible, but in a way that doesn't feel cheap. Like someone who I got an amazing cheat skill and now I get all the things I ever wanted in real life that I never got now. Where there's then no problems, but not as a relaxing way, because I got a fight. I won. Do you learn anything from it? Does anyone get anything? Does anything change? No. Moving on to the next fight. There's a lot of cheap storytelling. While this is horrible and definitely misery porn, it feels earned just based on what we've seen so far. Again, not my cup of tea, but I can see how other people could enjoy it. And not just for the fact that it's basically a off-brand game, but for everything else that comes with it even. I could also see how some really screwed up people could love it for the screwed up aspects and not enjoy the more actual heartwarming or emotional human elements. It's great either way. Basically what I'm saying is, if you guys haven't, there's a link below to the video. Hit it up. And it took me 113 days to finish this according to chat, and I believe it because I'm terrible about getting to things. But I'm glad I did. Hit it up. I'll see you in the next one. Adios.